Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to Her Journey, Her Strength. This is Irene. Earlier this year, California was hit by the most destructive wildfire in LA's history. It was like a real-life nightmare, turning so many lives upside down. Today, we're lucky to have someone who actually lived through it all. She's here to share her story, and honestly, I think it's going to be super inspiring. All about loss and rebuilding. Get ready to feel some serious courage and strength. Let's dive in and give her a warm welcome. Wanda, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Could you give a quick intro for anyone who doesn't know you yet?
My name is Wanda Scott Walters, and I'm a former assistant director of Pacific Oaks Children's School, and I worked for them for 12 years. I'm currently now an entrepreneur. I buy and sell houses for a living, and I also own my own art business calling Chasing Muriel, which is a deep passion of mine that I love to do.
That's so interesting. But I'm also curious though, to become the person you are today, did you have any role models or someone who inspired you along the way?
Yes, I did. My mother, she is definitely one of my biggest role models. Born and raised in Pasadena for 55 years, my mom did travel over from the South, and she was able to purchase her home in the Pasadena area next to the Rose Bowl, which is pretty hard to do being a single mom with 5 children at that time, where she bought her home for $14,000 and raised 5 children there. She also was recognized for having one of the best landscaping within the Pasadena area as well. She won that award 4 years in a row. And she also was known within the community of giving back, feeding the homeless, clothing the homeless as well. She also used to visit the convalescent home and witness to the patients.
From everything you've shared, I can really tell how amazing and talented your mom was, and also how much you loved her. I know she passed away and was dealing with dementia before she left. That must have been such a heartbreaking time for you. How did you get through that period?
That was definitely a hard time for me. Watching her fade away was very difficult, but the foundation that she had given all 5 of her children regarding the resilience of we can overcome and achieve and get through anything was what got us through. As she was dealing with the dementia, all 5 of her children was by her bedside taking care of her. And to be able to take care of a parent as they're going through something like that also helps with the trauma of the disease. As we all know that dementia, there is no cure for dementia, and there's barely any medicines for dementia. But getting through it was very difficult. I'm still at this point emotional about it, and she passed away on March the 27th. 2022. It's a hard thing, but we got through it. We're getting through it. It's each day. Again, going back to the foundation of what we were taught was to stand on our faith, and that's what's got us through with my mom's dementia. During this whole process, as my mom was dealing with dementia and as she passed, I couldn't understand being at my age not understanding dementia. I really struggled with it. I've heard about it, but never was really faced with it. And I had so many questions, and you would think at my age I would know more about it. But since my mom had it, I ended up having to research more. And so now what I'm doing, I have created a book for the younger generations to understand, a kid's book actually, that will share more in depth what dementia is. There are books out there about dementia, but I have not seen too many for children. And I think that is something that is needed within that arena. Again, being my age and not knowing, understanding, I think this will be really helpful for kids growing up. So I am creating a book.
From being a daughter to becoming a mom, has the perspective of the word mom changed? What does being a mom mean to you?
So being a parent is a never-ending journey. I have 3 beautiful girls, 35, 27, and a 22-year-old. And I'll share a story about my 35-year-old. When she was young and she got her first job, and she gave me a call and she says, "Hey, Mom, I got my first paycheck. And I said, "You did? That's good, sweetheart." And she says, "Do you mean I get this every 2 weeks?" And I said, "Yes, you get this every 2 weeks." So being a parent, it's a continuous, no matter how old you get. You know, some people think, okay, you hit 18, you hit 21, parenthood is over. Parenthood is never over. And I witness this every day. I get a call every day from my kids about something.
Wow, it's like your job of a mom is never done. It really shows how much women carry on their shoulders. Society definitely expects a lot from women, and it sounds like you've been balancing so much work, kids, family, and everything in between. So, how do you manage it all?
I just do. It becomes a norm to me. It's just something that has to be done. I don't think about it. When duties and things need to be done, I just is I do it. There's no book to this. When you love your family and you're passionate about your family, you just do.
That's really inspiring. But speaking of challenges, as a black woman, have you ever faced unfair treatments?
Yes, I have. It is not fully in your face, but yes, I have faced it. But I've learned to deal with it over time. My being brought up again, my mom has taught us how to deal with negative people, and she has taught us to understand that it is not us, it is them that is suffering from an illness of hate. We are all the same at the end of the day. So I have been faced with racism, and I teach my kids as well about, how cruel some people can be in the world, but how to turn it around to a positive. So I'll take a negative and turn that racism into a positive. But yes.
Now let's talk about the wildfire. I know it must have been really hard to think back on the day that it all happened. Could you tell us how everything went down and what was it like when it all started?
Yes, I remember on the 6th of January, I got a call from a friend saying that there's a fire over in Eaton Canyon. And we've seen fires before in the canyon, but they're there and then they are put out right away. And so as we were talking, remember my friend saying, "It looks a little worse than what I've ever seen it before." And so we got off the phone, and later on that night, that's when the winds were all going, and we saw the fire just kept creeping over, but still not realizing that it had jumped into the valley. I call it the valley from the mountains. And so by that time, we started hearing that there was going to be evacuation. And so around about 2 o'clock that morning, where my house was located, that's when we got a remote. It's time to evacuate. As everybody came out, it was like something you've seen in a movie. Bumper to bumper traffic. Everyone's just trying to get out. So we're out of there. And so morning time, I went back up just to see what was going on. Fires were still going. To drive by the house to see that the house was burned down.
Always feel that your life has ultimate significance. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you are nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth.
So as we started to help individuals, I was not aware that the span of the fire was so big. I was able to drive down a couple streets to where I almost got trapped by fire. So because there was really no police presence, very little fighter presence, due to they didn't have enough water to fight the fires. So they pulled back and watched it from the sideline. That was one of the emotional days ever in my life, besides my mom having dementia, because I know over 60 plus people that have lost their homes. One of my properties that I own, we knew the neighbors and they also passed there. So I did have some friends that perished in the fire, a father and son.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. That's just so heartbreaking. I can't imagine what it was like to see everything around you just burning like that. It must have been so terrifying. But like, what kept you going after all of that? I feel like hearing your story could really help a lot of people who are going through tough times too.
What kept me going was, again, I have to go back to my foundation of my belief, my faith. My faith is what always keeps me going in whatever I do. So to be able to stand on that and to be able to help others that's what got me through. Me helping others gave me the energy to look past my dilemma to get me through this hard time. And we're still going through hard times because the fire was just 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And we're looking at a 2 to 3 year rebuild on some of these homes. So it's devastating, but my faith, family, and love is what gets me through anything that I do.
That is really amazing that you've got such a strong core and value. So, like, what's next for you after all of this? Do you think you'll rebuild your house or do you have other plans?
Yes, I would definitely be rebuilding. We're in the process of getting the property cleaned off and to get it ready for the rebuild. And I am a part of a project of helping other people rebuild as well.
Do you feel like the community got enough support and help?
Yes, I do believe that the community did get some immediate support when it came to the fires. We did see Red Cross, we saw FEMA. I was able to work at the Civic Center the day of the fires. I worked there for maybe a week helping all the people that was misplaced from the fires. So there was a lot of help in the beginning, yes.
Yeah, nature can be so brutal, and going through something like this wildfire must have been so life-changing. Do you have anything you'd like to share with everyone after living through it?
I would say to be prepared. We live in California where it's known that we do suffer earthquakes, we do have wildfires, and now we do have floods due to the wildfires. So I just say, just always be prepared. Myself and my family, we do have like a go bag. We also have meeting spots. And then just stay connected with your neighbors and your family.
Thank you so much for bringing us back to that day. I really believe what you said is going to give so many people the strength and courage to keep going. Now, let's lighten things up and hear some questions from the kids.
Miss Lawanda, if you could travel back to your younger self, what would you say to them?
If I got the opportunity to travel back, I would say keep doing what you're doing. Don't change anything.
Ms. Lawanda, what is the key to running a successful business?
I would say honesty. Honesty is it's the key of running a successful business.
Quick fire round. Please finish these sentences. The title I most want to achieve is...
The woman that never quits.
After retirement, I would like to...
See the world.
Your feeling about this visit is...
I think this visit was amazing. Being able to sit with you, Irene, has been totally a blessing for me. I see the power that you have as a young lady, uprising young lady, along with your mom. It's been a great visit. It's been an awesome visit.
Thank you so much. I can say the exact same thing to you.
Yeah.
Miss Lawanda, thank you so much for coming today. That's it for today's interview. Hearing about the Eaton Canyon fire and everything our guests have went through is honestly so intense, but also super inspiring. Keep challenging, keep nurturing. If there's a voice from any field you'd like to hear, someone influential and strong, feel free to follow us on Instagram and leave a comment. We'll do our best to make it happen. Until then, stay bold. This is Irene, class dismissed.